So last summer, ELE had a popular series of sessions focused on cohort learning. And recently, when they surveyed ELE members, the cohort learning rose to the top as one of the most popular areas of interest for the community. So in the series last summer, they talked about the what and the why of cohort learning. And today we're going to facilitate a conversation around the how.
So Jesse, you mentioned the GMs and these AGMs. Tell us a little about this audience. It sounds like an interesting crew from our prep conversation.
So AGMs, GMs are in charge of one of our locally managed operating areas. Our AGMs and GMs, they score high in operational capacity because they deal with so many problems on a daily basis that they know how to solve a problem. But the results from the LTI, very low on collaboration.
How you thought about the design?
So we knew we wanted to start with our AGM GMs because of our leadership temperament index results, which we analyzed and prioritized the top 3 areas for development. So we wanted to start with that. In terms of design considerations, we knew what our outcomes were, right? So at the end of this cohort learning, they'll go through a capstone project that we're still developing. They get to apply what they learned and discuss in a real life situation. And at the end of all of that, each AGM and GM will develop an individual development plan.
Brian asks, how are you evaluating the success of the program?
Obviously, one, we're going to look at participation rates. We'll get employee feedback, especially on our pilot when we first roll it out, right? We have some pre and post assessments that we're incorporating. We'll do post-trainer surveys. We'll talk to their GMs, do a 30, 60, 90-day follow-up, self-assessments, and then even talk with their employees and do a survey.
Excellent. Does someone have a scenario they're willing to put out there and tap the brain trust around some of the questions you're thinking about?
I help to run a couple of different cohort learning programs. We have one at the start, and people first join us it's a rotational development program for early careerists. So when they first come to us, we teach them kind of big business skills. Over the past couple of years, we've done a couple of tweaks to bring in some different e-learnings. So right now, what we're trying to decide is how to really leverage the asynchronous learning on your own, a virtual live session with an instructor. And kind of in the past, we've recruited really strong candidates who have very similar like Big Ten backgrounds. But now that we have kind of expanded our target school network, we've expanded the different universities that we're recruiting from. We have this other kind of dual issue of kind of making sure everyone's on the same page, that they have the same baseline. And so kind of understanding when to leverage an instructor who's going to kind of take them through the skill, and when to really leverage that kind of asynchronous optional baseline setting materials.
We have now integrated group individual coaching. We tried the group coaching, which from a lot of researchers found it was going to be a good idea, but it did not work so well. And it was mostly because of the whole scheduling nightmare around the group coaching. So we went to individual coaching, which people are loving because it's more focused on their specific needs. And we do use an assessment prior to the launch of the program to identify those areas that development that they want to focus on. And that kind of drives the coaching engagement.
I wouldn't say it was quite yet cohort learning, but we tried as part of our new leader journey, self-paced curriculum for an individual contributor that moves into a new leader role. We created we called it the Peer Connection Hub, and we created it in teams. And so the purpose of that was to incorporate the social learning aspect. And so that they could network with one another